Yes, good morning everyone. Welcome to Helsinki. And today I'm going to address 3 points with respect to Yoga Retreat game and maybe give you some ideas on virality and authentic content and how to kind of make that all work seamlessly. But yesterday we actually got a new prime minister to Finland, and he's famous for 2 things. First of all, he has most Twitter following of any Finnish politicians, so very suitable for this. And then he always has 3 points. So there were some notable similarities with my presentation, what I was going to give today. So to the first point. Can I get the slides? Yes. Okay. Demo effect. Okay, I start with this without the slides. So Yoga Retreat is a free-to-play game, which means that basically players are given the opportunity to start the game, to try out how the product feels to them without paying. Obviously, at some point in time, there needs to be a business model for the developer, how to make money from the game. And there always comes the first challenge that, how do you make that work seamlessly, with the type of a game you want to deliver. In our case, we wanted to create non-stereotypical game for women. So when you look at the women games market, you see a lot of fashion, a lot of restaurants, a lot of very kind of stereotypical women games. And what we wanted to achieve is to give a game which is fun. It is a game, but it also has a content within it that is relevant and interesting to the women games audience. In terms of free-to-play, the challenge is then how you actually get and how you kind of direct the people also to give you some money, so find so much value in stuff what you offer that they actually are willing to throw in the 4 euros or the 10 euros in terms of the cash purchases. And I'll talk about that now. The game loop in our case is taking care of customers that arrive to the retreat with different needs. They obviously, in a yoga retreat, want to learn yoga, but they have other needs as well. And you need to expand the retreat and take buildings into your place to make that work. So this particular customer is here for a balance package, meaning that she wants to learn yoga and then drink some suitable juices and increase her balance. And once she's happy, she then pays the player coins and leaves the retreat and actually recommends the place to her friends, which then will kind of join the fun, and you'll able to kind of increase the number of customers the more happy you make them. I mentioned buildings, and I mentioned free-to-play, and I mentioned business models. So in our case, we've decided that things start to proceed gradually, a little bit lousier from a player point of view after the first 12 levels. So then you either need to wait a lot of time in order to upgrade your buildings or buy new ones with cash that help you proceed faster. So first we offer paddleboard yoga, then we offer laughter yoga, then we offer actually ability to teach LED classes, and then smoothie bar to the players. And all of these become available, but in order to really make them perform well for you, you need to upgrade the buildings, and the waiting times then kind of become longer and longer, and we hope that that's one of the ways that some of the most non-patient customers will then start to give us money in terms of free-to-play. Then to the authentic content. So together with the normal games loop, there is also a yoga loop that proceeds with the game. So when you proceed in levels, you unlock new poses to practice. And for really, really enthusiastic yogis and yoginis, there are features such as building your own yoga sequences that you're obviously able to watch in the game yourself, as well as share to your friends. So sharing in our case means sharing via Facebook, sharing in Twitter, sharing in Pinterest. Obviously videos you can't share to Pinterest, but I'll talk about all of these sharing ways in greater detail. But this is really kind of one of the key authentic content elements in our game, that all the yoga poses, animations related to those, all their names, they are served to you as they would be served in a real life yoga class, and you are able to play with that content while managing your own retreat. So coming to the sharing part, one of the authentic content elements, in addition to the yoga poses, not so familiar to the general public, is that there are a lot of well-being philosophy elements with respect to yoga that is part of the whole system of yoga as it is understood in the East or partially also in the West. So what we've tried to do is to take some of those elements also to be part of the game. So customers have occupations and relevant intentions. So why they are actually practicing yoga, why they are in your retreat. And through those types of elements, we've tried to integrate some of the yoga philosophy into this fun gaming loop that is ongoing in yoga retreat. So here you see there is a storekeeper, and she's there because she thinks health is her greatest wealth. And you can obviously tweet this to your friends, as well as all the relevant guidelines relating to how to do properly a triangle pose or warrior pose or anything that is available. In terms of Pinterest, that is kind of also, given our target segment that we are kind of targeting women that are adults, also a very important way that we hope that players are also able to kind of market our game. So we've made Pinterest cards that also share some of these, especially kind of well-being philosophy related elements. And here you can actually go check out in Pinterest how many of our kind of soft launch pilot players have shared the content, and you see that those ones that are really into Pinterest, they share a lot per person, but it's still smaller than what people share to Twitter. But these are the types of things. So in addition to kind of yoga poses and these intentions, we also have daily meditations that you can complete together with the game. So one daily meditation opens every 12 hours, and then each of those meditations also has a Pinterest card that you can pin to your Pinterest page. In terms of what we've learned, so Yoga Retreat game is currently in a soft launch in 3 markets, so Finland, Netherlands, Canada. And in Canada, we've been doing trial marketing for a few months and raised volumes since May. So 30% of the daily players actually share something. So they share either intentions, yoga philosophies, their level ups, blah, blah, blah. And most interesting to me has been to notice that really this authentic content is, like 80% of what is shared. So normally the viral elements in games, they are kind of glued on top of the game experience, so they normally are not very well integrated as to be part of the game's content or really the design and what the game is all about. So one of the things I challenge everyone who is kind of building virality as part of the experience is to really start to think about that at the same time as you really decide to whom is this game made for. Because in our case, if the virality will start to bring us players big time, it's not because of the level up brags, and it's not because of screenshots how fancy buildings I've made, but it's because of yoga, it's because of the poses, the intentions, and really the content that people are attached to and want to share with their friends. So that's kind of really interesting finding and verification of some of the thinking what we have with respect to the authentic content part. What's also really interesting to notice is that when you have all these analytics integrated into your game and you are doing the user acquisition with different advertising tools and then you monitor what's going on. So organic funnel, so basically people that are either coming through App Store lift or coming through, you know, these Twitter, Facebook, whatever posts people have been posting, it follows a very similar pattern to that of the paid funnel. So this has been really kind of interesting finding for me in our pilot in Canada that, you know, people who invite people, they invite alikes who, you know, play similarly as well as then pay similarly. So when you market and use marketing funds to a certain target demographic, they invite more people who behave in a similar way. So there is not big difference between the two funnels. Okay, so those were the key findings. I really hope that people think about already in the beginning that, you know, how they want to populate the channels and make it meaningful for the players, not only how they play, but how they share. Thank you.
Awesome. Good to hear.